presented by DraftKings. TD, Tutty, taking it to the house, in for 6, whatever you call a touchdown. One thing's for sure, touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 2 Thursdays in a row, Martin Mush, first touchdown scorer. Correct.
Ooh.
You like that?
Wow.
Plus 1,100, plus 850 last night.
Wow.
A nice 2 hits. It's nothing better than hitting the first touchdown score. There's also nothing better than an anytime touchdown score. It just feels better. I think it feels better than winning a side.
This is one shot.
It's just one shot. You called your shot. And even if it's anytime touchdown, it's beautiful. On the ground, in the air, from the special teams or defense. We don't care how they score them. We want to bet on touchdowns, and DraftKings Sportsbook in the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple like players score a touchdown. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your bet today. Ready to score a touchdown, dance your own. New DraftKings customer, bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PICKCENTRAL. That's code PICKCENTRAL for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Eagles, Falcons, one of the worst 3 quarters you can have, and the unbelievable fourth quarter.
Fourth quarter was incredible.
Incredible fourth quarter. The first 3 quarters, I think Smitty kind of explained it was like watching like one of those NBA games where they just don't care. Nothing was happening.
It was dreadful.
First 3 quarters, like we get good games on Monday, and it was horrible. But Eagles lose 22-21. I will open the floor for Smitty to get his thoughts out first, his venting out, and then I'll open up to the panel. Smitty.
Well, first off, congratulations to the Atlanta Falcons.
And us as a show.
Falcons!
This is the real. This is the real.
Dirty Birds.
Real bird.
Dirty Birds. They're back, baby. They buried Kirk after week 1. He's
Falcon
back.
boys, baby.
Classic NFL overreaction.
The Falcon boys. All right, Smitty, keep going.
I love how you said you will open the show with all.
Oh, I couldn't wait to do those. I couldn't wait those.
Literally 1 second in.
It's fun. You should do with us. It's fun to do.
It is.
Dirty
It's very
Birds.
fun to do. And the Falcons, oh, yeah, I'm sure you guys saw. They looked fantastic last night. They're definitely a great team.
When they won, they looked really good.
They look good.
Yeah, they won the football game.
They did.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do great things this year. Now, the Eagles, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. There's no real other word to describe it other than embarrassing, pathetic, useless. It was a complete waste of an evening. First 3 quarters, yeah, they played fine enough, I guess. You saw play calls that were similar to last year. 3rd and 9 QB draws that go nowhere. Bubble screens to Britton Covey while you got Devontae Smith, 170 pounds, a former Heisman winner who's electric as shit, doing all the stalk blocking for Britton Covey. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And defensively, I guess they played okay up until the final drive, which I'm sure we'll elaborate on, but zero pass rush on Kirk Cousins. Their edge rushers were pitiful. They didn't even touch him on the edge. And to come in with Kirk Cousins coming off that injury, not looking mobile last week, and to be able to get no pressure on him, not even designing blitzes to fucking get in there and make him move around, it's embarrassing. It is just embarrassing. And Nick Sirianni, I mean, Kellen Moore was in charge of the offense for the most part. Vic Fangio is in part of the defense for the most part. Both deserve blame. But Nick Sirianni, man, it's getting old. It's just getting really fucking old. You were, I guess you were endearing 2 years ago when you're crushing people on the way to the Super Bowl, and it's all fun and games, the cockiness. You can't be a cocky piece of shit and have that go down last night. You just can't, especially in the first half when you pass up on an easy 3 points on a 4th and 4. And I get it. If you're going to be consistent and go for it on 4th down every single time because that's like your mantra, like what Doug Peterson used to do with big balls, okay, I can see it. But last night, when it's the first half and you're not even driving the ball well, getting, 4, 5, 6 yards a pop and can consistently do it, you're like lucky to be in the red zone essentially and had to have the stupidness, the cockiness to go for it 4th and 4 there. Or it's just unnecessary. It's like, why?
I'll say it too. This isn't second guessing about you. You said it at the moment too.
Yeah.
You were upset in the moment.
We talked about it a little bit before too, where it's like the Falcons weren't moving the ball, and the Eagles were like they weren't moving the ball completely. You know the Falcons are going to score the Eagles they're not going to go back and forth in scoring. I think you could see that. Take the 3 points there, and then again take the 3 points where they took it the second time. I agree with them. Be consistent, like what I say. I think the Lions are very consistent on 4th down. They usually go for that, and that's just who their team is. I don't agree with it. Sometimes I agree with it, sometimes I don't, but I think you're right.
Yeah, it's situation based in my opinion. And the second to last drive, Kirk Cousins wasn't really doing anything all game, and then to have essentially 4 separate plays. It wasn't one play where it was a breakdown. 4 separate plays where people were just wide open. And arguably, that was the easiest game-winning touchdown drive I've ever seen in my life.
That was
Prevent was bad.
There was no fight.
That's where I want to start too. So I think teams are fucking insane.
This has been happening for like a decade in Philadelphia.
Why are you doing prevent deep? Throw a little blitz at Kirk Cousins, a guy who cannot move. I don't know if you can see. The man cannot move. He can't go north and south. He can't.
These teams, they get in these situations, they're so afraid to get beat by a deep ball that they just give you 20, and that's a deep ball.
And they did 3 plays for, 60 yards?
Yeah, I mean, three, I think it was 58, something like that. 3 plays, they were inside the 20.
bam, bam, bam.
Inside the 20.
Easy, too. The first one was the only non-easy one when Pitts
they got like
Pitts
10,
got the
11
10 yards. And then the Mooney one was
Disgusting.
wide
It
open.
got easier as it went along, I felt like.
And then
Mooney
the
got the
score,
second, too, I think.
And then I also
And Drake London's wide open in the end zone.
Yeah.
And then even the Eagles' last, the interception play, they still had 25 seconds left.
Wow, yeah, 30, I think almost 30
Like,
seconds.
They could have. I mean, Jake Elliott.
And a timeout.
They only needed the field goal.
Yeah,
30
Jake
seconds
Elliott.
in timeout.
Jake Elliott has booted 60-plus
but
yards to win games
That's
before.
what I'm saying. Just I think they could have had that he wasn't open at all in that. He forced
He
it.
didn't need to.
I'm saying Elliott could hit a 60-yarder where I'm
But it shouldn't have came down to that last
100%
final
shouldn't
drive.
have.
It's just it's embarrassing. And what's very, very worrisome is I said there were dream team vibes coming in this year, and give the Eagles a lot of credit. Week 1, if that game against the Packers in Brazil happened the exact same way in the second half of last year, they lose by 2 scores. But they fought hard, and they played, and they won. So I thought things were different. Last night was last year. It was last year. Not even the second half. The first half of last year, when they would win games, it'd be like, yeah, they won. They didn't really look like great. Even if they won last night, it would have been that feeling.
Well, I think the thing we haven't talked about that we need to is the 3rd down play call. The Saquon drop.
Look,
I think there's a pretty clear-cut way of looking at it. I think it was a phenomenal play call that he just dropped the ball. I have no issues with the play call. It was there to be made. The ball hit him square in his hands. He's an unbelievable player.
and I'll say this, instant reaction, yes, it's very, very difficult not to be upset because run the fucking ball.
Yes.
I agree with you.
It's a great play call.
I agree with you.
It was
Hit
a
him right in
phenomenal
the
play
hands for a first down. Your billion-dollar Pro Bowl running back that you just signed. It's a perfect play call.
People are mad at the play?
Yeah, people are
Well,
like,
people say you should have ran it.
It's results based. Obviously,
that's just stupid.
it gets dropped because even if they go conservative, they run the ball. Say you get stuffed at the line of scrimmage,
Takes more time
you burn another 40 seconds.
Oh, that's stupid.
You kick a field goal to go. Yeah, you still kick a field goal.
Yeah, it's like
go up 6.
it's like the 4th and 4. If they would have kicked it and missed it, or I still would have been like that was the right play. Or if they would have gotten the touchdown there on that play or penalty, I still would probably been like, oh, that was the wrong play, but it worked out.
That's just stupid. That's just one they trust your, like you just said, Pro Bowl running back to catch a wide open pass. That was a great pass. Everything worked out. I actually think, obviously, the whole Falcons team thought they were going to run, and that's why he was wide open. I think that's a great play. I hate when people
Poor Rico.
blame it on after Rico.
Poor Rico.
If you watch the video. Watch the video, first of all. Second of all, the funniest part of that video is Dukes behind the camera cackling. The man could not hold in his laugh. Rico was if you didn't watch a stream, Rico from when Saquon would run the ball at the 40, he'd start get in the end zone. Get in the
He
end
needed Saquon to win the to help
To
advance
stay
the end zone
alive.
crown.
It was so
and his
annoying.
bet with Jerry.
I equated it correctly last night to it would be like you needing Aaron Judge to hit a home run.
Yeah.
But he's batting 8th up in the order to come, and you're still like, all right, we got to get the Judge.
Yeah.
Got to get the Judge.
Yes.
So fucking annoying.
The entire game.
The entire
He
game.
wasn't very close until the
No.
end. He wasn't very it was always also on the one he was still everyone in the group knew they were doing a tush push. I think the entire world besides Rico is going to say they're not going to do a tush push.
Well, the play before Saquon got in, but they reviewed it and
No, yeah. No, that's what I'm saying after that.
Yes.
He was and it was like Gainwell's going in, and he's like, no. It's like,
I'm like, I literally watched 14
He's going
run the
in.
field,
Yeah.
and Saquon's walking off with his helmet on top of his head.
this is a theory I was working on, and it's not fully done, and I don't really. It's never done in this head. It's usually starts, and I'm like, oh, I could say that. I think the Eagles think they're somewhat of the Chiefs. The way they play, their play calling, and the way that they play, like they get cute with things, and they just aren't using the weapons that they should be using.
I wouldn't say that they're the Chiefs. They're just
Phil gave me
they're
a
cocker.
fist pump.
Phil was very
Because
excited.
I completely,
I guess
I
I guess the
completely agree with
cockiness is
Marty.
there. Yeah.
The cockiness is kind of there, even like what you said. They're throwing it to who's the white receiver?
Britton Covey.
Covey,
Covey
and
and
when
Grant
you have Devonta Smith, who's not a blocking wide receiver, he could, but he weighs 170 pounds. Maybe give it the ball to Devonta Smith as a screen and not this guy. And I understand once in a while they did it like 5 times and he got 3 yards.
And it was complete shades of last year.
yeah, and just
Complete
like
fucking shades last year, but there was orbit motion in some place, so people are like, "It's great, Kellen Moore's a genius." Fucking Kellen Moore sucks. Just put it out there. He sucked with the Cowboys. He sucked with the Chargers. He's gonna suck with the Eagles. He just sucks.
I have a stat on Saquon Barkley. Since the start of the 2021 season, he has 16 dropped passes.
Yeah, I got a stat
most
for
in
you.
all of
Yeah, I got a
football
stat
in
for
that
you,
time.
Meek. How many times has he been throwing the ball during that time? Like Gus Edwards not going to be throwing the ball and drop. That
I mean, that's
opportunity
a
of fucking 50
pretty
passes.
big
I'll
stat.
tell you what, Saquon Barkley wasn't the reason why they lost.
Yeah.
last night.
Phil was
I mean, he choked the game away.
yeah, Phil had a different take.
But
If you,
it's
if
like
you
Malik
pay-
Neighbors. Did Malik Neighbors lose us the game? No,
he played a great game, but he didn't make the catch or matter. But Malik Neighbors is a rookie. That's his second game. He'll be better.
This is a stat I saw. Are you Hurts is 2-5 in his last 7, 1,300 yards, 8 pass touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 80.5 pass rating. I never really thought of. I think Hurts wasn't really the problem either, but that's people are kind of coming on him. What do you pause? What do you think about that?
He's actually 2-7 since the Buffalo game.
All right, what do you,
He's not.
I was going the last 7. I said the last 7.
Well, they just lost all their games in the season last year. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
He's not playing the way he was playing the first half of last year and his MVP run until he got hurt in 2022. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But there are a lot more. There's a lot more immediate problems than him, and also he's not getting the most help either between the play calling and the execution.
Play calling. So Britton Covey, we talked about him a little bit. 6 catches. He caught all 6 of his targets. Great. 23 yards. So he's averaging less than 4 yards.
See, but that's an anomaly. He wouldn't even be playing if it wasn't.
I know, but why do they keep throwing? We were even saying in real time, all these catches for 2-3
exactly.
yards.
It's
what-
fucked up.
Yeah, well, it's just
Really fucked up.
It was just bizarre to watch.
Yes, it's very bizarre when you have Dallas Goedert and you have
Yeah,
Devontae
right.
Smith and you have Saquon Barkley and Britton Covey is your primary receiver for most of the night. It's fucked up. That's nothing against Britton Covey. Utah, give me 2. He's an electric punt returner that doesn't turn the ball over and will never score a touchdown. But you should not be passing him the ball for 6, 8 targets in a game.
Also, Jahan Dotson, who you said didn't even get looked at.
Didn't even get
he had
looked
one catch
at.
in the first quarter, didn't get looked at again.
Johnny Wilson's useless, except when he's stalk blocking. He just
bad.
picks players up by their jersey for some reason.
Yeah, young,
Back.
young, really tall guy.
Yeah, listen, that's what I'm saying with the Chiefs thing. Comparison, I was like, because the Chiefs will do maybe a fat guy touchdown or they do some crazy things. I don't know. It was a very bizarre game.
What do the Eagles do now? Like seriously, do you fire Sirianni? Okay, then who do you go get? Like, what do you do here? Right?
You run the season out.
I think so too, right?
It's early.
You have to.
Unless I mean, which is I guess a possibility because they have the Saints this week. Unless they go like 1-3, 1-4, like then maybe people start talking like mid-season. But like they already made their bed before the season.
I have a question for you.
So they're sleeping with it.
You have the Saints up next in New Orleans. Then you have at Tampa. Let's say you lose both those games. I'm not saying you will. Let's just hypothetical you do. You're 1-3. Now you have the bye week.
Yeah, I think they very well could lose both.
So let's say they're 1-3 the bye week. Is Sirianni then?
Where are the games?
Both away. At New Orleans, at Tampa.
That Brazil game was the Eagles' home opener, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That's the worst.
Gotta win.
Yeah, you gotta win.
Worst.
So if they're 1-3, do you fire Sirianni? For real, you have a bye week.
I think it depends how the games play out. If they're two hard-fought games in which, you can blame the players for the losses, I think that should be taken into it. But if it's like last night and the second half of last year, I don't see how you keep them.
Jesus.
I don't think you're firing him in the bye week 5.
Yeah.
I think that's and I'm not even saying like whether he's a good or bad coach. I think firing him week 5 is crazy.
If they collapse,
like if you're going to fire him week 5, you should have fired him in the offseason.
I agree. But if nothing changes, are you going to waste the rest of the year? Like, at that point, if they keep playing like they did last night and the continuation from last year, the Brazil game excluding itself, like they have, then the rest of the season's a waste. Maybe you can Antonio Pierce bring Deuce Staley back or some shit, inspire this team, and maybe make a run with the talent that they have. But if you keep putting him out there and it's the same results, like what do you expect?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask. Who gets the bump? Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio?
They probably bring in fucking Belichick. Seriously.
No, they'd hire someone within in mid-season. Probably Fangio.
I want to say this too.
I don't know. I don't know who it would be.
Yeah.
I be honest, it might be just fucking Big Dom.
Oh my God. I would lose
Seriously.
my mind.
You seen that video?
There's reports that he's running everything already.
Yeah, that's a
You seen that video?
Which is a problem.
Of him just sneaking his way in the camera shot.
yeah. He always does.
Crazy.
The guy-
They literally moved the camera like out of it, and then he just like walked back.
It's getting old. It's getting
so
old.
old, dude. Like
His vibes of a guy who wants you to think he doesn't want the spotlight, but he wants it so badly.
When we uncovered him, fine, funny. If everything is just like the fact that they're saying he's running the team, he has all this doing. If he has any power, shut up.
And if they were winning, be great.
Yes.
But they're not.
So
They're
get
not
out-
winning.
Hey, get out of the camera shot.
Is he just like Sirianni's boy from the neighborhood?
Probably.
Like where the fuck did he come from?
Probably.
I'm being dead. Like I know. Like how long has he been with the Eagles? Like is he he's a Sirianni guy strictly?
Well, he was a security guy, and that's just kind of like.
But I'm saying, but I get he's a big Italian
now
guy.
he's like technically on the coaching staff, so he's allowed to be on the sidelines.
No, but I'm saying like was he with Sirianni previously? Like is he?
I'm not 100%
Or was
sure.
Sirianni
I think he
was
was
the
a part of
Colts?
the.
Who was he with before?
Sirianni was with the Colts.
That's what I thought.
I think Big Dom was in the Eagles organization for.
Okay, so he's been with the Eagles for a while. Okay.
I also obviously the Eagles still should have won that game yesterday, but like AJ Brown really is that big of a deal to the Eagles offense, and I think a lot of people aren't talking about that because they still have a lot of weapons, and again they should have still won, but like. Devonta Smith is way better when AJ Brown's there. AJ Brown I used to not think it. He's now top 4 receiver.
AJ Brown is one of the very few, not only receivers but players in the league that can help hide coaching deficiencies.
Yes,
because he can manhandle somebody 1v1 and just win on a play that might not be designed that well to actually get him open.
Also, all those Britton Covey screens, those are Devontae Smith screens that usually AJ Brown's blocking.
Who can?
You would think. You would think.
Somehow,
am I wrong?
Somehow you're not right.
Am I wrong?
No, you were very. The second half of last year, you were very wrong. Because Devontae Smith got injured last year doing that shit, stalk blocking.
He was blocking for AJ Brown.
JJ Arcega-Whiteside or some shit.
Yeah, I guess.
No, they don't use AJ Brown that way.
They don't. I actually don't see him use.
Like logically, it'd be
He's
like
just a big physical
just
guy.
Assume, like I know you don't watch every Eagles snap. Like one would assume that, that's the case. AJ Brown's that guy. No, No, Devontae Smith's a stock blocker. Fucking Kenny Gainwell's usually the guy catching the bubble screen.
I just couldn't believe
Stanford.
Goddard didn't have a better day yet. I thought he was going to have a fucking field day.
Too. I really did.
I'll also say this too: the Falcons played very good defense.
They did.
throughout the game.
They did.
Like, I don't think that's getting enough shine in this whole thing. The Falcons' defense is very good.
What also not a lot of shine is that the Falcons' offensive line held the Eagles completely out of the way.
Well,
Kirk Cousins.
I said that yesterday too, where the Falcons' offensive line is good. They got manhandled by a dominant player in Week 1. They're a good offensive line. They're a above-average offensive line.
But the Eagles weren't doing anything to switch it up.
What's that? Who they play the first week again?
Steelers. They got smoked by J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Excuse me, T.J.
That
Watt.
is a very good.
Their right tackle got just absolutely annihilated by T.J. Watt. But they are a very good offensive line, a top, like a above-average offensive line. They played very well last night. They ran the ball all over the Eagles. Bijan played great. They ran the ball like crazy. That's why I think they did move the ball. They couldn't convert in the red zone besides the last drive, but they moved the ball up and down quite a bit in the run game. And they weren't able to score touchdowns until the end.
Listen to this stat: NFL underdogs of 5.5 points are now 9-1 against the spread this season with 5 outright wins.
I mean, this weekend every spread
crazy.
6 or 5.5 or higher, all is covered.
That's
2 weeks.
Most of them won.
If you're talking Survivor, the past 2 weeks, the biggest spread has lost.
Smitty, let me tell you something. Me and Hubs are in one. First week Bengals, second week Ravens.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Oh.
I'm not buying back in. Both -9.
It's not your year then.
That's just I'm out.
That's
You can't. You literally can't be worse than Survivor.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's not my
I
fault.
don't-
The Ravens was awful this week. Like that was just horrible.
NFL's confused. I mean, NFC, the Bucks are the only 2-0 team, correct? And Saints.
Commanders are in first
The
place.
Bills are 2-0.
Giants are 1 game out.
NFC, Meek. NFC.
Bills are 2-0. Hey, Meek, are you after last night? Are you happy the Giants didn't sign Saquon?
I wouldn't say happy. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, you do care because you were texting about it all last night. You were very
Well,
cared a
I don't
lot.
know. You wanted to suck his dick after 3 touchdowns, and we won't even talk about him dropping the game-winning pass.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can't play both sides, I don't see what
He
the point
definitely
is.
didn't care coming with a prepared insult stat of Saquon drops. He definitely didn't care.
Well, I mean, it's different when you're playing a team like the Falcons, though. So you got to acknowledge that.
No, yeah. I mean, the Falcons are a Super Bowl contender. I think
Well, no, you didn't say that. You actually were against the Falcons earlier.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Right, because you got to go against the grain.
Yeah, because I actually root against rival teams.
The Falcons aren't that good. Like, let's be honest.
Oh, really?
Be honest.
Did you watch last night when they
Yes,
won?
the Eagles are fucking worse.
I think
Potentially.
I think the Eagles gave Kirk his confidence back.
Sorry. I mean, you go against a team like the Falcons, it's tough to come out
Yeah,
a winner.
sorry.
It's hard. Sorry, Smitty. I mean,
You don't understand. Dirty birds over here are a.
well, maybe one day you'll get it.
It's a fun team.
This might be like a stalwart moment in the Falcon season. This is
my
This is
God.
the opening moment of the Super Bowl DVD.
Unbelievable.
I can hear
come back and
driver's voice.
Kirk Cousins leads the drive down.
Everything looked lost.
Kirk Cousins.
0-2, season in the toilet.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, $180 million for what?
Kirk Cousins
Comes back,
Kirk
leads the
Cousins
team.
in the second quarter last night, with 10 seconds left, had 3 people wide open in the end zone and chucked it 30 feet into the stands.
I don't know if you watched the end of the game.
They weren't open.
He had
There was nothing there.
They were.
No.
They
It was
weren't. They weren't
remember,
invisible.
remember, you literally said the guy was open and they showed over the top and it would have got pick six the other way. There was the safety, literally about to cut it off.
Wasn't there someone open in the end zone at the end of the game? Was it Drake London when he caught the winning pass? Right, he did.
You are so.
It did.
God forbid if you're like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
So
Smitty, Rumble Chat wants to know what you think about Darius Slay's tweet after the game and him saying "good route to Drake London."
Well, I wanted you to. Did the Rumble chat ask that, or was that a Meek Phil?
Meek Phil said that in the Rumble Chat.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that was way too specific of a question from the Rumble. chat.
he's Dr. Twitter Fingers, and so's Gardner Johnson.
What was the tweet? Sorry.
It was that's on me, Philly. I owe you one.
Oh, all right.
But it was also more that I don't know if he
Seems nice.
he dapped up Drake London, was like laughing, giddy, being like, "Oh, good route, man!" Like that, like all playful and shit.
That would rub you the wrong
way
way.
too smiley.
Oh, I mean, to be
Way
fair,
too big
it
of a
was again.
smile.
The Falcons just bring around like a camaraderie. There's a happiness around the Falcons.
I mean,
Cannot feel good for these Falcons.
yeah, I mean, you can't blame the player for that.
Tell to the 70,000 fans that were there yesterday who had to witness that bullshit. Well, I mean, me and my dad were in the. My father was there last night. We were in the stands when like Brian Greasy went down the field 98 yards against the Eagles with 0 timeouts in 50 seconds and beat them. Matt Hasselbeck drove same way with the Seahawks. It just fucking keeps happening. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the year. It doesn't matter the decade.
You guys did win a Super Bowl pretty recently.
Yeah, that was fun. That was great.
It's pretty good, Smitty.
But individually speaking, when you support this team for decades, generations, and you have to watch them on your own turf lose that way, you can individually recall games. I'm not saying it could be worse. It could be the Jets. It could be the Browns.
I'd shoot
Still
Mari in the
fucking
face if the
sucks.
Jets won a Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? I would love if the Jets even went to a Super Bowl, and you're bitching that you won
It's
one.
worse though. Obviously,
I'm not bitching
he's
that we
not
won-
bitching
it's
one.
not.
I think it's
What?
worse when his.
Remember, the history. It's you've gone to 3 Super Bowls, right? In your lifetime.
My lifetime, yes.
It's pretty good. You've won one. That's
Compared to you, yes, because you're
Yes.
a fucking loser. Yes. I still would like to be the Chiefs.
yeah, no shit.
Okay. So we're all in agreement.
You don't get everything you want, Smitty.
Fair.
All right?
Sure.
Being a petulant child a little bit right now.
No, but listen, I mean, the Giants.
get what he means.
I watched the Giants win 2 Super Bowls. It doesn't help that we've been the worst team in the NFL the last.
No, I don't need him lecturing me about it's so hard to watch your team.
Not lecturing you.
Oh, you're lecturing.
Explaining my
Mansplaining
how fucking
how it feels to root for a bad
What
team.
Smitty's
Thanks.
talking about too is worse when you have a very talented team.
That's true.
Not
Right.
living it up to it. When the Giants have been so bad, it just sucks.
Right.
It does whatever. But when you have one of the best duos at wide receiver, the second best running back in the NFL,
And that was more alluding to that is now the third easiest 90-plus yard drive I've seen of this team at the link in the last 20 years to fucking just ruin them. What? 3 average quarterbacks: Matt Hasselbeck, Kirk Cousins. Okay, slightly above average quarterback: Matt Hasselbeck, Brian Greasy, and Kirk Cousins. Unbelievable.
It was actually the 7th most improbable comeback since 2016.
I believe it. Falcons magic. No, I mean, I'm busting balls with Smitty here, but you guys are right. The Eagles watching last night's game when he's just throwing those little outlooks to Covey. It's just what are you doing? You have all this talent,
frustrating.
you have all of these skills and all these abilities, and you're just wasting. It was a very frustrating game to watch.
Yeah.
And, I said I'm busting balls, obviously, but the Eagles, I don't get it because on paper I look at that roster, I'm like, this team is so good, this team is so talented. I keep wanting to believe in them, and then they'll you're right, Smitty. They'll pull the Charlie Brown and the Lucy, and it's what's happening? Tough.
Nobody's gonna get that reference.
You did. You got it.
Nobody has blown more leads in the NFL in the final 2 minutes of games since the start of the 2023 season than the Eagles, who have blown 4 leads in the last 2 minutes.
It's tough.
Yes,
But-
they've shit themselves from the second half of the season from last year through last night. They have constantly shit themselves.
2 things. Back to the Slay tweet. Not to burst every fan's bubble. These players obviously care, but the second game of the season, he's not going to be crying over the one thing. I know he should be. It's just how players are.
You don't have to be crying, but you probably shouldn't tweet that.
Probably shouldn't. But 2, the NFC is so wide open. It doesn't the Eagles can come out of that easily. I think it's seriously. I think the 49ers are still the team to beat in
Vikings are
there.
2-0 too.
Yeah, which I don't have.
The Niners are still 1-1. Like you said, I agree with you. They are the team to beat. Even they're at 1-1.
I know, but it's 2 games in. They're still a team
Right.
to beat. But the NFC is still so wide
Yes.
open.
It's more yesterday. I was railing the Cowboys and Dolphins for both being same shit, different year. That's the
You guys are
Eagles
too,
today.
yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Let's switch into college for a little bit. Because first of all, we have to shout out Brad.
Oh, Brad.
What is
3-0.
Is he 3-0?
3-0.
Because the first week, did he do a week 0 one? Yeah, right? Or no?
I don't believe he did.
I don't think.
I know he's 3-0. I've won off his.
one.
I won off his picks 3 times now.
It was 3 because he's had the Wyoming over week 1. He had Oregon State, and then he had the over in Auburn last week.
Over in Auburn was gorgeous. Everything was fantastic. I love that man. It's incredible just to have one bet you look forward to all day. So week 3 of the of college football, it was fine, right?
Yeah, it was.
It's not exciting.
There was nothing I would say the craziest game of the day was definitely the LSU South Carolina game.
Yeah, I don't know.
And South Carolina was winning most. They did everything they could to just shit that game
Also should
away.
have known not to bet LSU that game.
Yeah, I was on SC. That was good. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
Sellers gets hurt at the end of the first half. Their quarterback, they put in Robbie Ashford, who was like the quarterback last year for Auburn. He's kind of platooned with Peyton Thorne. He stinks. Yeah, I mean, they just blew the game. They definitely got some favorable calls as well. Like they had a pick six get called back off like it was stupid where a DN kind of like hit the quarterback. He really didn't even hit him that hard. Like he blocked him and just kind of like shoved him over. Like Nussmeier sold it well. But it had nothing to do with the play. It was like never going to make the tackle. That took basically 100-yard pick six off the board. They end up losing by 3. Yeah, that was the and also I would say the other biggest takeaway was Georgia. I mean, almost losing
9-6 they won.
13-12.
13-12.
And I will say
My
Mark
God.
Stoops, one of the most chicken shit calls I've ever seen in my life. There was a few minutes left in the game. It was like 4th and 8, like just on the other side of midfield, and he punts. Like you're playing the number 1 team in the country. You're a 23-point underdog. You have the ball on plus territory. I get it's 4th and 8. Go for it. Like some of these coaches they play so conservative. Like I think sometimes they have too much pride to play like they're not massive underdogs. Like go try to win the game. Like what does it matter if they go score and then like they score again or something, you lose by like 2 touchdowns. Who cares? You lost.
matter. Yeah,
like who gives a shit? Go try to win.
covered.
Go try to win the fucking game.
No one's gonna remember you lost 13-12.
No, it's just crazy to me. Like I just hate that shit so much. It drives me insane. Because now it's become such a debate. Like analytics or just having balls, whatever you want to call it. But to punt there, like coaches love punting. They love punting. I fucking hate it. Like, try to win the game. Like what did you show up today for? Just to lose close? Go try to fucking win.
You know,
It just pisses me the fuck off.
You know, some people, especially college, yeah,
They're like happy
so.
with that loss.
I think they would be.
they're happy with that loss.
Like it just
Which is embarrassing,
annoys the
but I get
fuck
what you
out
mean.
of me.
It's embarrassing, but if you're trying to stay at a college program for long, be like, oh, only lost 1 score to who.
But he's a guy. Mark Stoops he's been at Kentucky
been there for a
forever,
while.
forever. Like that's not something he has to worry about. Yeah. His biggest thing is that everyone knows he basically took the A&M job last year, and then A&M the fans kind of didn't really want him, so he came back to Kentucky, and everyone in Kentucky knew like you left, and then kind of wanted a hero's welcome when you said you were staying, but we all know you really wanted to leave. So I think that's kind of put their program in like a weird spot because he had done Kentucky was a nothing burger before he got there, and he made them like a consistent like 8-9 win team. Now this year they don't look great. They got boat raced by South Carolina. They play Georgia tough and they lose. But yeah, that was Georgia looking mortal was definitely
that was shocking.
Everyone was like just chalking them in as like national title team, which I'm not saying they can't. But they're still going to be there and they might even win it. They definitely could. But because they even had games like this a few years ago. They had a close game with Mizzou before Mizzou got good the last couple of years. They're good for one of these a year, but they looked mortal as shit. The offense didn't look crisp. I think they kind of just blew out Clemson that second half, and everyone's like, "Oh, like there they are. That's the national champs."
That was shocking. But Notre Dame had a bounce back. Leonard had 3 rushing touchdowns. They won 66-7.
Yeah, Purdue stinks, but no,
still, that's
Notre Dame
like
needed like a get back.
66-7 against not like a shitty. It's still nice, but
They're like they might be the worst team in the Big Ten. They're pretty bad.
Yeah, but still, again, Big Ten. I'm just saying, 6-6-7. Sure, Alabama, Wisconsin's fucking horrible.
Yeah, Wisconsin's awful.
42-10.
They just have no athletes, and their defense isn't even what it used to be.
And the crazy one now, Orgy is at Michigan, and he's a quarterback because you cannot throw 3 picks to Arkansas State and win 28-18.
Fading Michigan this year has been a cash cow.
Oh my!
They have no off. They're just not good.
28-18, they'll beat Arkansas State at home.
Plus 22 or plus 23.5, like easiest.
Wow, that was it was 23.5.
So easy.
Going into it?
And I will say Arkansas State did score with like 20 seconds left, but they still were comfortably. They were down 18. Like they were comfortably going to cover the game.
I have a CFB take that I want to hear Ev's thoughts on. I think Quinn Ewers is a much better quarterback than Carson Beck.
He's looked at this year.
I just think
He's definitely looked like it this year.
because I mean, look, it's no secret we're going to be looking at quarterbacks in the draft next year. Obviously, it's probably irrational, but Carson Beck only like putting up 13 points on that Kentucky defense is going to like be sitting in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's one of those like I wouldn't just throw him in. He's definitely going to be a first round pick, but
Yeah.
Ewers has definitely looked better this season so far. Like if I had to pick right now, I'd pick Ewers. I think he just looks so in control. He looks great. I think like they're the two like clear cut like first round guys right now. I think a Cam Ward has a chance to like be. I've already seen him in mocks. He's looked great early. I think he's going to be a guy. Miller Moss looks really good. USC's quarterback. He's going to be a guy. Even Nussmeier, people are down LSU. I think they're using him poorly. I still think Nussmeier's a really good quarterback, and I think he'll end up going high if he comes out.
Is there a chance Shadur doesn't even go in the first round? Or
I don't. Talent wise, he should 100%. I just think he's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Like it's going to have to be like the right fit. There's going to be teams like the Giants, like teams that organization like that aren't gonna like want the baggage or whatever you want to call it that comes with it. But he like, if you took like everything else aside and just said like this skill set, he might be like the best one of all of them, to be honest. At least in the discussion. He's a first round quarterback, like just based on skill and all that. In my mind, 100%.
And Kyle McCord, what round do you think he goes?
Maybe he gets drafted now. He might get drafted.
It's unbelievable.
Will Howard looks great too. Look fantastic.
No one asked, you know.
Yeah, I have no issues with McCord. McCord looks good. I'm happy for McCord.
Oh no, you said he stunk when he left.
I mean he wasn't good enough to get it done. I don't think that's like it's not a hot take. He's just what happened.
Playing great at Syracuse.
Yeah, he's playing awesome.
Great. I gotta say, you'll love this Instagram story of Jalen Reagor. He's on the practice squad of the Patriots. Look, it's just like
He's on the practice squad of the Patriots.
yeah. Look what he posted, basically like a Corvette or whatever.
Yeah, like a
Bugatti. A Bugatti in like a trailer home. That's funny.
Who is he referring to?
Himself
Yes.
being on the practice squad.
He's
okay.
the car.
Because I saw someone say that recently, like a similar thing about I forget who it was. It was like someone really good on like a shitty team.
Yeah. That could be it too. That's like kind of like Devontae Adams on the Raiders sometimes.
Yeah, that like there you go. That's like an insane offense.
Another
Brock Bowers looks fucking awesome.
really good. Last thing before I go back to the NFL, because I have some NFL things I want to talk about. But Oregon looked like they were back to like the national champions that everyone thinks they could be.
They needed that one. They needed a performance like that. Because Oregon State had looked decent the first few weeks. Going to Corvallis and just like boat race them like that, they needed that because they beat Idaho by 10. They're lucky to get out with a win against Boise. Boise's really good. They might be the G5 like playoff team. They're that good. I mean, their running back's a legit first round pick. Genti's unbelievable. But no, they needed a fuck you like that to get back. Now I think everyone not that people lost respect, but now you respect them again. They're a legit contender, a legit playoff team, all that. I'm still curious to see how they do against like when we go there in a few weeks, when they have to play like some of the other I can't remember if they play Penn State this year or not, but I'm curious to see them against teams like that.
This week we finally have like some marquee, like Tennessee, Oklahoma.
Awesome game.
Great game.
Awesome game.
You even get Utah, Oklahoma State.
Really good game in Stillwater.
I mean, you get USC, Michigan. It'll still be a good game.
Really, that's a good game too.
USC is -5.5 at Michigan.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
They just have
crazy.
no offense.
It's not crazy, but it just kind of is. And you also get Illinois, Nebraska
Not bad.
on Friday, which isn't a terrible.
bad.
On a Friday, that's a good game.
That's a really good game on a Friday.
And hopefully, yeah, because like college football we needed some good games coming soon. Like
we had two kind of like slates in a row. Now they're going to start heating up.
yeah, I mean
It's all October 12th is the culmination.
I mean, October 12th is great.
If you're doing anything but sitting on your couch October 12th, I might say you're not a man.
But September the week 5.
One of the best slates of all time.
What do you have a wedding to go to?
You're one of the best slates of all time.
Let me tell you something. You're a hardo if you don't go to a wedding because of a football game. I will stand by that.
Who depends whose wedding.
You're not a man.
You are a hard. You're not. I think you're not a man if you don't go to a wedding.
Depends whose wedding.
It's a person in your family.
Well, family's different. That's it. Depends who.
That's
It's
usually
like a friend that you're like, you're surprised you got the invite to.
Well, of course, that's completely different. I think if it's someone that you are close with, you're one of your good friends, anything, you should go to the wedding.
Yes, I would agree.
Best friend, sibling.
What
Like
about-
one of your
what
best
about your
friends,
cousin?
sibling.
What if
Depends how close you are with your cousin.
what if it's your friend's 40th birthday party?
That's a little different because the game would just be on there, right? Like,
One would assume.
I mean,
Is that what?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just.
Oh, that was just a throw out. I thought you had a.
birthday
Oh,
parties.
no, not mine. Not mine.
I mean, a male birthday party is different because you're just assuming there's TV's going to be on. Like, there's no problem.
Yeah,
Hang out with the pals and watch the game. Yeah, that'd be a great environment to
Or
watch.
what if it's a surprise set up by a wife, where you
text.
just don't know?
I think you gotta if
at least
he
text
if
if
he
it's
is into sports, then you have to tell her like, hey, this is what's going on.
Okay.
Be like, hey, I'm looking at
Just make sure the TVs are on. That's
What
all.
if the TV says baseball playoffs on and not college football? I mean, that's what I would be having it
Oh my
on.
God, is that gonna be possible? That's gonna be
Yeah, October
Yeah, that'd be pretty lame.
That'd be pretty cool.
You gotta have college football on.
Well, you gotta have
No,
the
no,
Yankees
not
on
really.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
Well,
mean, it's
Yankees
playoffs,
play
baseball. Playoff.
Yankees
baseball.
play up baseball.
Probably would
Yeah,
take
Yankees
paramount
don't
over.
care about if the
No,
Royals and
The
the
Mets,
Guardians
the
are
Mets
playing.
are on. You want to have them on TV? You know?
Well, Mets got to earn it.
That's true.
They're not in it.
They might.
Well, right now, if the
Well,
season
the
ended today,
Mets-
we would be.
Mets kind of or
I
well,
like-
not against the Phillies, but
I want nothing
the Mets.
more.
The Mets could be in. Well, anyone they could be in and eliminated by then.
I want
True.
nothing more for the Mets to get into the playoffs.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing more.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I want to see them crash and burn on that couch like
That's-
I have had.
yeah,
to do
best.
for the past
No, wait,
5
wait a second. Best record in the league since May 30th. Am I right, Meek?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay.
Since Jose Iglesias got called up.
Oh, that's so cool.
I mean,
That's the tops.
You're trying to be me? I don't know, but is that me? Or is that- You're using old phrases, so it must be me.
That's a
You-
mix.
Notice how you all sound the same.
I think it was both. I think it was
Yeah.
combined.
That's
right
the
there.
problem. You could have been either.
Exactly.
That was a yeah.
Well,
Like
you're saying the old saying, so I assumed it was me. That's fine. Smitty's lashing out. He's very upset because his team lost last night. I feel bad for him. As a friend, I feel bad for Smitty.
That's fair. Good.
Yeah.
bad.
Should feel bad for me.
Before we go with NFL, baseball is what is there?
13 days left. Yeah, 12 games.
12
13
games.
days.
teams have about 12 games left.
12 games left. Yankees are up three games. Like I don't know if I've told everybody the Orioles have still looked horrible.
The Orioles look really bad.
They're losing to they lost a series to the Tigers. They lost the last series to the Reds.
They've lost 3 of the last. I mean, sorry, they've won 3 of the last 10.
Tigers are a good team.
Tailspin.
The Tigers are 1.5 games out of the playoffs.
the Tigers have been playing well.
Because Scoobo had a start yesterday, and I think they let up like 10 runs. His last start.
The Twins are a train wreck right now.
The Tigers are a team you don't want to play a best of 3 with because you know you're going to face Scooble in one of
Yeah.
those games. Like that's a dangerous
So
team.
who-
to play.
That lineup, nobody is like individually very good, but they're scrappy.
I actually think they have the best record in the American League since Javi Baez went on the IL.
That's helped a lot, actually.
He's on the IL.
Yeah, and he's absolutely right. Since he's gone in the IL, they've taken.
But they
think
got
about
guys
it.
like Matt Vierling and Carpenter and Keith and Green. Like no, you're not going to win a World Series with those guys. But to get a hit at any time, like
Oh, the Tigers are someone lied
scrappy.
to me. They are not 1.5 games out.
No, they are one.
They are 1.5 games out.
What is happening here?
They're 1.5 games out of the wild card.
Yeah, I understand. Why is that happening? Right?
Maybe
Weird, right?
Your app may not be updating.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this
It wasn't me error. That's right there saying it's 4.
It's 4. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
what you're
1.5,
looking at.
right?
Yeah, 1.5. It's 100%.
It is
I'm
1.5.
looking at it right now.
Yeah, I hope the Tigers make it. I'd rather them in it than
The Twins.
yeah, 100%.
By the way, the Mariners are only 2 back. I think the Mariners are better than the Tigers.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to
Well,
see
we all know
just the
that.
Mariners starting pitching.
Did you guys see that Rosa Reina at bat? He stepped out 3 times, and then on the 4th pitch, he just hit a home run. He stepped out during the entire pitch.
That's
Every
funny.
time he pitched, he stepped
Yeah.
out, stepped out, stepped out, and then just hit a home run. It was fucking crazy.
Just the Mariners right there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we know. You said they should win the World Series.
I said they're dark, but I said my pick actually was that they make the playoffs, but we'll see.
are the Brewers doing? You awake on them yet?
You bring this up all the time. I've been saying.
See, you cannot bring up every time you're right just out of the blue whenever you want, and then when someone
I did in the Mariners.
thing to
But I've said how many times in this show about the Brewers? How many times in this show have I talked about the Brewers?
every time that we brought it up because every time.
But I always say I was wrong with the Brewers. I've been saying I was wrong. I've been
Exactly.
I don't. What, you want blood, Smitty? What do you
no,
want?
when we're just bringing.
I keep saying I'm wrong. I was wrong with the Brewers. I was wrong with the Brewers. I was wrong with the Brewers. I've been saying it over and over again on the show. But you, every time you're here to bring that up, but I was wrong.
because you're bringing up every single time you think you're right about something. So
No, I'm not. I said the Mariners are 2 back. I wasn't like shoehorned in. They're half.
Trying to bring
party.
yeah, it's between you two.
I mean, that's crazy. We were talking about the AL wild card. I talked about the Mariners being 2 back. And by the way, I'm not right. I said they make the playoffs. They're 2 back, so I'm wrong.
I just wish you said you did want blood.
Yeah. So you want
He does.
blood.
Yeah,
Yes, I want
When
blood.
Clemmer's wrong about something, he has to show blood.
Can you get blood out of that, or is that like a Mr.
Not
Burns
much. Not
thing?
much. Yeah.
Or just good, the needle go right through.
That's right. I am skinny. I'm skinny. That's true. You miserable fuck.
All right, let's.
That was a good
Move
Mr.
on.
Burns reference.
That was great. It was good. I liked my reference. I just called you miserable.
All right, moving on.
What's that a reference of?
Oh, me calling you miserable a month ago. I just like to call you miserable every month. Makes me happy.
Miserable.
is.
I will say, if you look at our records on the
That's miserable.
bottom,
My record's
Stop
miserable.
alluding to that.
it's not great.
Well, you're doing fine.
Smitty's 7-20.
Fine, I went 0-6 last night.
No, I said-
Yeah, you're
I'm sorry, Mush is doing fine. Excuse
Well,
me.
I'm 29-42 at plus 225 units. That's because I've hit 18 units in first touchdown.
Hey, it's-
And hey, look, I'll take it. But Rico is 16-21 at
Good for
plus,
Rico.
0.12, and then you got
Oh,
Clemmer minus 13 and Ev minus 25. It's a bad.
Smitty's minus 10. Smitty's doing.
I guess I should just start giving out the first touchdowns.
Of course,
I'd be
why
like
wouldn't
even
you?
if I just like
Why
set them.
wouldn't you give it out though?
Because I just feel weird. I don't know. I wanted to propose potentially for next month or with PMT stats was good with it of doing like a unit, like a system. Because with old Brandon, we had never changed it. I always felt it was kind of like not totally in the sense of like it just makes everything as a uniform like same bet. And I don't think in general that's how gambling works in theory. Like you're not just putting the same amount of money on every
Yeah,
single.
but we're putting our picks out, and then people are taking the picks, and then at that point,
No, but
deciding
I'm saying you should be able to say like, hey, I'm putting like 3 units on this. I'm putting like a half unit on this, like more because that's like for like in terms of like what things that you like more. Like,
Yeah.
there's no ability to say I like this more than this.
You can't say what you're sprinkling and what you're
Exactly.
Well, I'll say this.
It's like I'd say most of the time.
I bet 500 on the Auburn over because I was just like, this is what I want to do. That's not my unit at all. I was very excited for that pick. And then last night I put $100 or $50 on the first touchdown.
And that's my, I guess my general point is like everything gets like allotted the same amount, and it's not always like
It's just a little hard. I also
That's why I feel because I know that'll make the stat keeping like definitely more difficult. That's
and
definitely like
I
a
feel
thing.
like we can't do that to him. But you should like if you're actually betting a first touchdown, you might as well put it out there because the people love doing first touchdown
Yeah.
bets. I only do first touchdowns for primetime games too, and it's like
Yeah, same.
and yeah, like DraftKings is the best touchdown stuff. Like I feel like we should do.
Yes.
I
If
understand.
you have a touchdown play, definitely put it out.
I understand
For
what
me,
you
like,
mean.
for
I'm a big-
example,
I
like-
hate when someone's 29-42 and up 2 units. I completely understand what you mean.
Because for me too, also like last night, like I had 2 units on Falcons spread, like 1 in the over, and then like halves on the 2
Right.
touchdown scores. So in theory, that's like an even night, but I'm 1-3. I'm 1-3 minus 2 units,
Right.
but I'm like even cash. You know what I'm
I
saying?
guess
Like
that
it's
kind of makes sense though too if you're putting if you're
because I have things like on a college football Saturday. I'll have a few plays. I'll have like double or triple
course.
what I have on everything else, and then it just ends up being like the same.
But I also do it differently. I it's tough to do because I think we're gonna have to keep with that because he's got to.
No, that's why I feel bad because him like it would definitely make it more difficult on
Yeah.
PMT stats. And
Because
I
like even
appreciate
on
his work.
Sunday, I gave out all my straight picks on the NFL, but I parlayed 3 of them on one and won a plus 600 one. Like it's different. Like
When
sometimes
you tweet out your picks, you could always do like 3 units here.
I guess I
you
should
could
just
do.
start doing it like that and keeping it like.
yeah.
And that way, the people who follow you be like, all right,
I always
was really high on this.
In my head, I always just stayed so uniform to like the Pick Central
Yeah.
system because that's just how we give the plays out and how we've done it for
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I see
4 or 5
Jack Mack
years.
tweet out his plays, he has like 2 units
Yeah,
on certain
he'll have-
And
plays.
even Rico does that for Pick'em like on his own. He'll do that. Maybe I need to just start like.
Yeah,
doing
so if
that.
you really love something, just put it out there. You still stink though.
Oh no, I've been bad. No. Listen.
Oh yeah,
No, I
Horrible.
honestly want to see my UFC. UFC, I legitimately might like. I've been so bad. Like I can't stress how bad I've been in UFC.
Yeah.
Like it's just been a donation of like a 0-5, like 1-6.
That's
like
bad.
every Saturday on top of whatever else is going on. And I just bet everything. I just bet everything, every sport. It's been bad. 2024 has been a nightmare.
Back to NFL quick before we get to picks today. Clemmer was right about Cooper Kupp can't stay on the field. He's out he's on the IR. I
They're
believe.
saying probably going to go in the IR or potentially.
They're saying probably till about week 6, week 7 he's back. Give you that.
Thank you.
2, this year is pretty crazy. So Tua hurt. Debo is out.
Yeah.
McCaffrey's out.
Yep.
Nakua's out. Cooper Kupp's out. Pacheco's out.
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
He's going to miss
out.
a few weeks.
You know what's funny? It's all these guys.
Like Jordan Addison's been
There's no
out.
quarterbacks really. It's all.
Tua.
It's like the opposite of last year, except
Yeah.
for Tua. Last year was all the
Really?
quarterbacks.
It's just a lot of
Bad in games though.
Justin Jefferson got hurt.
Justin Jefferson.
I don't know. I haven't said if he's in
Kenneth
this time or
Walker?
not.
Kenneth
Walker,
he
yep.
missed last week. Yeah.
I think he's out again. Like Njoku's out.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of prominent players that are out, especially for 49ers, like McCaffrey and Debo is everything.
And keep an eye on last year when they had that little stretch of no Debo, they were awful.
Yeah,
He's such a
Purdy specifically.
Is
he's
Debo
a big X factor for
Debo
them.
is a sneaky, like he gets hurt a lot too, right?
Oh, yeah,
he's
gets
definitely
hurt
had
here.
some nicks.
Like I feel like he's just been getting.
He's so physical.
I know
He
he's
just
almost
he runs the ball so
almost
hard.
like stop being that.
Yeah, he's a fucking. I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to tackle that fucking guy.
Yeah.
He runs like a fucking tank.
It'll be interesting to see a little bit of the Chiefs. I think they'll be completely fine again, like we always are. But like without Pacheco's been a huge part of that team. So
Be ready. Carson Steele is going to become like
Carson
America's
Steele's-
darling.
Carson Steele's good.
If
though.
you're a Maction guy, deep ball
I
stick,
remember him.
carrying the rock. Then he went to UCLA. It was really good his last year at UCLA.
Yeah.
To like get this opportunity to make the team, and he's going to be legitimately the first and second down back for the next 2 months for the Chiefs.
Yeah. There's
B.
just a
Ryan will
lot
get some
of-
love too.
A lot of injuries. You got the next game, Jets Patriots. This is
We actually had a pretty big injury on the defensive side. Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah.
And then
Especially without
Reddick. Now we
Yeah.
have no pass rush at all. Nothing on the
The
edge.
amount that Reddick is leaving on the table is unbelievable.
Stunning amount of money.
Like $8 million.
at his age too, and
Yeah.
no one has ever done this, and it's worked. It's never worked for anyone, literally anyone ever.
Oh, it hasn't. Well, Bell did it. Reached that.
Yeah,
And it
last
worked out
time.
horribly.
Oh, he
He
was
The whole year.
basically- he
Came
took-
back and it ruined his career.
took less money and that he got from that he would have got from the Steelers the year before. Was done. Melvin Gordon cooked.
Yeah, it's
So
not-
many especially running. He's not a running back, obviously, but
I have a theory.
Reddick's also he's not young.
I think they're going to work it out between the Niners game. I'm sorry, the Pats game and then the
Long the week and a half
yeah.
kind of.
Because
Do you think that
we
he's,
need him.
like, is that what you think he's doing? He's like, look, like especially now, like he's just fucked up, but he's probably like, oh, well now that
Yep.
what's his name's hurt. Look at me now. They need us.
I bet the Eagles would have just been like, can we just reverse Uno that trade?
Yeah, can we get him back?
Oh, Bryce.
We'll just give you the pick
Huff's
back.
been horrible for you guys.
Bryce
right?
Huff put up a Tony Snell stat line last night.
Ugh.
No hurries, no QB touches.
He was pretty good with the Jets last year.
Was Jake Matthews blocking him?
I'm not sure.
He's a good tackle.
I'm not sure specifically. The edge, like Milton Williams had a sack last night from the interior. Jordan Davis didn't play like awful, but the edge stat lines for the Eagles, not just yesterday but last week too, have been historic.
Yeah, I would say their pass rushes come
Shit.
from like the interior
Yeah.
when they have.
It's been really bad. When, 2 years ago, when they almost broke the single season sack record, it was all pretty much the edge.
Brandon Graham got a little bit of pressure. He got early at least.
Nothing. Maybe a QB pressure.
Yeah, the one early that they didn't do
Sweat,
a lot at
nothing.
all.
Huff, nothing.
No, I'm not back again. The Jets. I'm going to be out the next 2 days here. That Jets pass game. I'm nervous about it. It's 6.5 point spread. I think the Jets
I instantly loved when I saw the line. I was shocked. I was like, "Give me the Pats."
Said Pats.
really.
It just defense travels. That for me, that was my knee jerk reaction to it. Was defense travels. This just feels like a lot of points in the NFL.
Brissett's
Short
not-
week, two teams
yeah.
that know each other very well.
Set hasn't made a single mistake yet.
Yeah, that's what he's a
He's
game
doing it-
manager. That's all you need from him.
That's the only thing that would scare me would be like if the Jets can score some points. Like I don't know. I don't think the Patriots are going to score enough, but I think they can. Their defense can play well enough to keep it close.
Can you guys take a guess who is second in the league in passing yards through 2 weeks?
Baker.
Nope.
NFC or AFC?
AFC.
Carr has to be one, right?
No, Brock Purdy's one.
AFC.
It's not Lawrence.
No, not Lawrence. Not Mahomes.
Not Herbert.
It's,
You guys-
it's not Allen because he only had like.
You guys
$130
like him.
last
I've heard people say he's a good quarterback.
Herbert.
No. That division now.
Minshew.
Minshew.
Yep, Gardner Minshew. Second in passing yards through 2 games.
I like Minshew.
Guy that was down a lot of points in both games.
Okay, but they were
back,
back. I'm
though.
gonna say won the second one.
Minshew's like
He's fine.
He's fine.
He's a backup
fine.
quarterback. Yeah.
yeah, right. I mean, ideally he's not starting, but he's fine. He's fine. He's a very good backup quarterback.
It's weird. Like realistically, It's funny because there's 32 teams. I don't think people would say in general there's like 32 like starting quarterbacks.
Right.
Because I think Gardner Minshew is a top 32 quarterback.
I agree.
But you'd say like he's not a starter.
Yeah.
But, like based on that, he is a starter.
Right.
We also didn't talk about. We got to go, but the Panthers came out and said that Bryce Young is sitting this week. They are benching him, but he is still their quarterback.
Oh, okay.
You can't say that when you bench him.
He said that after?
He said yes. He also is like yes. He's still our
I don't
quarterback.
think it works that way.
It was
Well, he's
showing
a
us-
quarterback on the roster.
was
Yeah, so it's true.
fucking-
It's true. He's a quarterback. It's
He's
true.
a
I don't know if he's the
quarterback.
quarterback.
They also know they're kind of like feeding him to the wolves right now. Maybe they had a talk with him and just like, yo, like you want to sit a couple weeks. Maybe it was his decision. You don't know. It's not a good situation.
they're in a bad situation.
I
Like,
do think they're live this week with Dalton.
I do too. I
Rocket?
tweeted immediately. The line, and how funny is it? How much how bad they feel Bryce Young. The line instantly went down like a point and a half.
really?
Went from 7 to 5.5.
Yeah,
Basically.
it was 5. I got it at 5.
But there you go. I'm sure a lot of people were. I'm sure a lot of like the bettors were jumping on it once he was.
Oh, and you guys know my rule with the Panthers. If it's 10 points or less, I'm betting the other team every time blindly.
This is the one.
Go.
Dalton. This is the time.
Will they play
A 5-point Raiders.
Raiders?
5-point game. The
is the time.
Panthers are horrible.
Panthers.
Bryce Young.
Yeah,
is
but
horrible.
Dalton can manage it.
Yep.
He's played for
it's
bad
close.
teams.
Yeah.
I'm doing this until it stops. But
Also,
it worked last week, and it's gonna.
Just blowing Gardner Minshew, which is fair. Like he's been playing very well, but he can put up a stinker like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not against the Panthers, though.
I saw him 2 years ago start 3 games for the Eagles, and he can put up a stinker like that.
I said I need to see something from the Panthers. Otherwise, I said I'm just gonna bet blindly.
This
Against
team's gonna get a spark from
it
it.
worked out so far.
It might.
They're better. This team is a better football team with any Dalton quarterback.
But they still stink. They're still horrible.
They don't need to be great to cover the spread.
Is Thielen back?
He never left.
I might
just wide
I might
open.
load up in fantasy this week on DraftKings.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay
Yeah,
Johnson.
and stack the Panthers and win.
Because I saw a thing with Bryce Young this week. He was pressured like 4 times at like 20-something dropbacks.
Yeah.
Like he just stinks. I think we need to see this year. Like they improved the offensive line, they improved the team. Like he just is that bad. I believe he's truly awful.
Smitty, you got picks tonight?
Yeah, we got Royals money line, Braves money line, and the under in the Cubs game.
Ev?
I'm going with skip over.
I'm going to go
I'll
with
tweet
the
about it later if I got him.
Cubs -1.5. I'm going with the Yankees money line, and then that's it. I'm not betting random games today for no reason.
I'm on the Mets over
That's responsible gambling right there.
Mets over 2.5 team runs in the first 5 innings. The Nationals pitching guy Mitchell Parker. I just don't like this guy at all. Mets have hit him pretty hard. He's been pitching pretty badly since the All-Star break. He's awful on the road. So Mets hopefully get 3 runs in the first 5.
Clemmer is basically about to bet around 320 games and just be 500.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is great, but it's also just like, damn.
It's insane. It's
The grind.
It is a grind. It is a
Grind.
grind. A grind to mediocrity is my grind here. Yeah, I'm bringing my dog to the game. My dog Melfi. I'm very excited about that. I don't know if that's good or
Dr.
bad.
Melfi?
Named after Dr. Melfi, yeah. Melfi the dog has never been to a game, so she's 0-0, so hopefully she'll, start off undefeated. Mets need to win.
All right.
Good.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Melfi.
That's the
Go
show.
Melfi.
And we'll be back tomorrow. See you guys.